Good morning, everyone. I'm going to stay seated, but I would invite you to rise in body or spirit as you wish and join in the singing, as well as you know it, to this morning's opening song, Home on the Range. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home on the range. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. One more time, home on the range. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Thank you. I invite you to be seated.
Rise and shine. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor, Michigan, a liberal religious community that has been committed to peace and justice for over 150 years. Thank you for being with us on this beautiful Sunday morning as we celebrate the transformative power of love and belonging. My name is Stella Anderson, and I'm honored to serve this congregation as Director of Spiritual Growth and Development. Joining me on this morning are Dusty Francis, our new Director of Music Ministries, the Reverend Theresa Rohlck, our Minister of Pastoral Care, Mike Halerz, our Technology Consultant, Allison Halerz, our Pianist-in-Residence, and of course, a team of behind-the-scenes volunteers that make what we do up here possible week after week. Yes, thank you. I'm always happy to see familiar faces, and I'm also delighted to spot new ones. So whether you're a long-timer, a newcomer, or somewhere in between, your presence is a gift. It's a little harder to turn the pages on a clipboard. Let's take a moment to wave hello to those that are watching online. Know that our hearts are filled with gratitude that you've chosen to be with us, even from afar, or in the future, if you're watching on demand later in the week. If you're new and wondering if this could be your spiritual home, please join us for our newcomer welcome, held after every service in the Jackson Chapel, which is just down the hall on the right as you're walking back towards the main entrance. It's a great place to ask questions and make connections. And please also take a few minutes to fill out a newcomer survey on our website at uuaa.org/newcomersurvey. It will help us to get to know you and guide you gently through our deeply warm and loving, but perhaps intimidatingly large and diverse community, especially for the introverts among us. Introverts and extroverts, the calm and the stoic, or the impassioned and fiery, all are welcome here. As one of the impassioned, I do have a request. We need more volunteers for the SGD program, which is scheduled to begin on Sunday, September 17th. Some of our longtime teachers are stepping back after many years of service, and additionally, we hope to re-separate the 6th and 7th grade classes again, and we want to bring back the 9th grade coming of age program, which is incredibly important. So our needs have gone up, while our pool of reliable volunteers has shrunk. And I also want to name something important here. Teaching is considered a caring or a healing field. And like many healing fields, teachers are disproportionately women. And this is true here as well. The vast, vast majority of our SGD volunteers are women or non-binary people. And we urgently need more male-identified folks to get involved in our youth programming. How can we combat the outdated and yet persistent notion that teaching our children is women's work if we don't model it in our own community? So I'm asking the dads, the grandfathers, the men or male identified in our community to consider volunteering in a new way. What a beautiful opportunity to learn something amazing and unexpected about yourself and all that you have to offer. Please find me in the social hall after the service if you'd like to talk more. And any former or current teachers that would be willing to share your experiences, I would welcome your presence there as well. Thank you for listening with open minds and open hearts. I was a camp kid. From the age of 5 to 17, I attended ballet camp, soccer camp, theater camp, academic enrichment camp, family camp, and traditional camp. Day camps, weekend camps, sleepaway camps, you name it, and I've probably done it. Being a camp kid was a huge part of my identity and taught me so much about making my own way, about relationships, about responsibility, about conflict, and about taking risks. In an episode of This American Life, Ira Glass interviews a former camper turned counselor who says, "When you live so close to people like this, and it's sort of like college, but everybody at camp is just real close-knit. It's like a bond that just happens. And that's why a day at camp is like 2 weeks in real life. It's like a time warp here." That rings so true to me. And it's also kind of a time machine. It's like a rewind button. Tom Rosenberg is president and CEO of the American Camp Association, and he had this to say in an interview. "We must acknowledge that some parents have bubble-wrapped their children. Camp is an opportunity to unwrap those kids, giving them the chance to engage in human connections and have human-powered adventures, removed from those that are digital-driven. In an era when America's youth are in the midst of a mental health crisis, clearly the social interaction that is a mainstay of the camp experience helps to alleviate loneliness and depression. Kids have time to reflect on who they are, who they want to be, how they may want to change the world." Now, I noticed something kind of interesting about that quote. What if we swapped out the word camp with the word church? It turns out that church actually has a lot in common with camp. According to Ira Glass, camp is using all of the stagecraft that all the world's religions have always used. The ceremonies, the chanting, the repeated words, the official honors and offices, to thrill children, to make them feel part of something big and special. Isn't that kind of what we do here? This stagecraft is one of the main reasons that kids and teens go back to camp summer after summer and then go on to become counselors in those camps. Don't the familiar rituals and songs that we engage with draw all of us back to this space week after week? What else brings us back, adults and teens and children alike? The chance to learn new things, to be challenged, to step outside of our comfort zones. And of course, above all else, the loving relationships and deeply felt sense of community. So let's put on our camp shirts and grab some kindling and tinder for the campfire. Welcome to Camp UUAA. Welcome to worship.
As we begin our time together, we light a chalice, a familiar ritual that connects us to UUs across the country who are also lighting chalices, maybe even at this very same moment. It's a familiar ritual that reassures us that we are in our communal space of worship, giving us an anchor to Sunday mornings and to the week. When our individual voices join together in saying our chalice lighting words, we bring our focus to the community of which we are a part. So as I light the chalice this morning, will you join me in saying our chalice lighting words? We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the harmony. We light this chalice for the energy of passion. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace. And if you think about it, a campfire kind of works like a chalice does. It's a focal point around which people gather. It might mark a central gathering place at a camp. It invites us to gather. Campfires draw us in. So as I light our campfire, will you sing with us our campfire lighting song? Campfires burning. The words are on the screen. Sorry, Dusty. There you go.
Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. Give it a try. 1, 2, 3, here we. Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry. One more time. Campfires burning, draw nearer, in the gloaming, come sing and be merry.
Come sing and be merry. Thank you. At a lot of camps, at least in the olden days when I was a camper, there was a way for us to have some spending money without keeping money in our cabins. So we could go to the canteen or the store or the Melody Freeze. Any Interlochen alums out here? And we could buy candy or ice cream or snacks or other supplies. Someone, usually our parents, put money in an account so it was ready if we needed it. And invariably, at least one letter home would include a request for additional funds. Today, I'd like to invite you all to put money into the UUA account. So this community will have what it needs for all its campers. When you give to the ministries and programs of this congregation, you are demonstrating your belief in the values of this community, for the well-being of the community. And your contributions support the buildings, the grounds, the infrastructure, worship, music, spiritual growth and development classes, Friday fun nights, social justice events and speakers, coffee, donuts, Wi-Fi, cameras, printer ink, sticky notes. You get the idea. You may be in a spot where a financial offering is not possible, or you are brand new to us or just visiting. If so, it's okay to let the baskets pass you by. There are many ways to give. And volunteering your time, teaching, as Stella mentioned earlier, is one way. Talk to any staff member if you are interested in volunteering in other ways. But if you are financially able, consider today's offering as a gift to keep Camp UUAA open and running year-round. As the ushers come forward now, you can note all the ways you can give online at uuaa.org/giving, or text UUAA to 73256, or you can put cash or checks in the baskets. Today's offering will be gratefully given and received, and I thank you for your generosity. Will the ushers please come forward now? And as they are making their way to the front, will you all rise in body or in spirit and join me as we speak the words we use to dedicate our offerings? These words remind us that our intentional act of giving is something that has meaning and purpose. Please join me as we say, "To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings." Thank you. You may have a seat. Welcome, campers of all ages. Welcome. I'm Theresa, and along with the other counselors, Allison, Stella, Mike, and Dusty, we are so excited you are here and ready to start your camping adventure with us. Did you remember your t-shirt? Wait, you don't have one? Oh my gosh. Well, you can buy one today at the camp store, also known as the social hall. Oh, sorry. Today we will do a lot of singing and listening to stories and swimming. Oh, wait, Stella, is swimming this week? Oh, swimming's tomorrow, never mind. Along the way, we might just find out what it means to belong and what it means to find our authentic selves. Are you ready? What better way to start camp than with a song?
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. One is silver and the other's gold. One new friend, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Dear UUAA, this is my second day at camp, and I'm okay. I know I was kind of scared when you left me off, but things are great now. My cabin is fun. I got the lower bunk, which is great. My counselor's name is Allison. She's been a counselor before. The showers are kind of weird, and in the morning there isn't always a lot of hot water. Oh, and I forgot my flip-flops, but I bought some at the camp store. Oh yeah, when you write back to me, I might need some more money for my account, just in case. You can send it to me and put on the envelope cabin 14. I like the kids in my cabin. Some of them have been here before too, so they kind of know what to do. Like in the morning, we have to make our beds and sweep out the cabin and empty the trash. But we set up a plan so we all share the duties. I don't like taking out the trash, but sometimes I have to do it. It was cold last night, so it was good I had that extra blanket you made me pack. I'm having a great time, and I wonder, do you miss me yet? Does Rex wonder why I'm not there to take him on a walk? Okay, I'm gonna stop now because it's time to go canoeing. Write to me, love, T. Stella pointed out to us this morning that much of camp looks a lot like a borrowing of the traditions that we have in worship from world traditions all over the globe. One of the other trappings that camp often includes are the sounds and ideas and traditions of Native people in the names of the camps, in the music we sing, sometimes maybe with no ill will, but maybe not with the thought or gratitude either that they deserve. And so in worship this morning, we'll use a few authentic expressions of Native people that we use with all of the respect and gratitude we can. The next song comes from the Anishinaabe people, who are known by many names. That's the name they originally gave themselves. Europeans called them Ojibwe, and later Chippewa. These people in various places call themselves now different names. In Canada, typically the tribal people prefer, the First Nation people refer to themselves as Ojibwe. In the US, it's often tribal members prefer Chippewa. But this song was collected from the White Earth Reservation in Minnesota in 1908 by a white ethnomusicologist named Frances Densmore. And as she was talking to an elderly woman in the tribe, she described this song to her as a song that she had heard sung as a little girl by the women of the tribe who accompanied the warriors as they left the settlement and then as they returned while the warriors went away. So it's a song of sadness, a song of loneliness, and a song of travel. It comes to us with the title Song of the Warriors, and we hope that it captures some of the feeling that we sometimes experience when we are heading away from home. Come, it's time for you to go on a long journey. Yahweh, 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 Umbeani majag wasugida jamin Yahweh, Yahweh, Come, it's time for you to go on a long journey. Yahweh, Yahweh,
When I was really young, my family spent 1 week every summer at Camp Michigania on Walloon Lake near Boyne City. Any other alums of Camp Michigania in the space? Maybe a few. So I'd had a taste of the close quarters cabin living, mess hall meals, and all of the activities associated with the traditional summer camp. But I'm not sure I was really prepared for my first experience at a sleepaway camp when I was 8. I had never flown by myself before, and suddenly I was tasked with getting on an airplane alone, landing at an unfamiliar airport in Minneapolis, getting my duffel bag from baggage claim by myself, and finding the rest of the arriving campers and counselors. A 4-hour bus ride later, and we rolled into the bustling campus, teeming with groups of kids and piles of duffel bags and teenagers with clipboards and whistles. All of those fears and anxieties that I'd been holding since I left Detroit on the plane, they just suddenly flooded through my mind. What if I didn't pack the right things? What if I don't like the other girls in my cabin? What if I can't pass the deep end test? What if I feel homesick? What if I fall off a horse? What if I get poison ivy? And then, just as my nervous, shy little self was starting to spiral, I heard a voice say, "Are you Stella?" I turned, and I saw this tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed teenager with a big grin on her face. I'm Jess, and I'm one of your counselors. This is your first summer, right? Welcome to Camp Mishra-Marzetti. It's not so scary. You'll figure it out, I promise. Come on, let's go check out your cabin. You can meet your bunkmates, unpack, and then it will be time for your first dinner in the mess hall. She just knew what to say, and I instantly relaxed. So grateful for this person who saw me for what I was in that moment, just a scared kid. And with that, I took a deep breath, grabbed my duffel bag with one hand and Jess's outstretched hand with the other, and made my way to where I was going to be living for the next 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I was 8. I had never gone away before, and it was 4 weeks. The thing about summer camp is there actually isn't a lot of time or space to worry or withdraw. There's just too much to do and too much to learn, and there are so many responsibilities. From mess hall duty, to daily cabin cleanup after breakfast, to getting to activities on time, to managing laundry and canteen funds. It was like a tiny little mini society of just kids. The counselors stepped in as they were needed, offering guidance and support and affection. But generally, they just kind of let us work things out on our own. We learned how to compromise and how to communicate. We learned how to work together and how to be accountable. We learned respect and resilience and problem solving. We learned to love and trust ourselves and one another. And we also learned a whole lot of goofy, silly camp songs, including this next one called The Other Day I Met a Bear. So listen. It's time to sing. All right, friends, here we go. I'm going to sing a verse, and then you'll repeat it. Some of you might know this one already. The tune repeats over and over, so once you catch on, join here. And it's a fast-paced song, so take a deep breath. Are you ready? Are you all the kids gonna sing with us? Yeah. All right, here we go. The other day, I met a bear, a great big bear, away out there, The other day, I met a bear, a great big bear, away out there. He looked at me, I looked at him, he sized up me, I sized up him, he looked at me, I looked at him, he sized up me, I sized up him. And so I ran, away from there, but right behind me was that bear, and so I ran away from there, but right behind me was that bear. Ahead of me, there was a tree, a great big tree, oh glory be, ahead of me there was a tree, a great big tree, oh glory be. The closest branch was 10 feet up, I'd have to jump, and trust my luck, The closest branch was 10 feet up, I'd have to jump and trust my luck. And so I jumped, into the air, but I missed that branch, on the way up there, and so I jumped into the air, but I missed that branch on the way up there. Now don't you fret, now don't you frown, 'cause I caught that branch, on the way back down, Now don't you fret, now don't you frown, 'cause I caught that branch on the way back down. This is the end, there ain't no more, unless I meet, that bear once more, This is the end, there ain't no more, unless I meet that bear once more. Thank you.
Dear UUAA, it finally stopped raining. I'm really glad because we have a big campfire planned for Saturday night. Every year the counselors put on skits and there's sort of a talent show for campers, but I can't think of anything to do. So my friend Miriam, she's in my cabin. She's also kind of quiet like me, so we decided we would write some very silly poems and read those. But I might chicken out. But the campfire will be really fun, not just because we get to make s'mores, but I think I like it a lot because we can be outside until it's really dark, and then it gets really quiet in the woods. It's almost scary, but not really because we aren't alone. And there's tons of stars. One of the counselors studies stars, astrology, I think, or wait, maybe it's astronomy. And they were helping us learn the names of constellations. I wish I could see that many stars when I get home, but it's just not dark enough where we live. Tell me what's going on at home. I guess I'll see you in another week. I wish camp lasted longer. I like being with the other kids who think it's cool to know the names of constellations. Bye. Love, T. Oh, P.S. Thanks for the last letter and the extra $. And Grandma wrote to me too, and guess what? She also sent me some money.
Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. These words come to us from the Navajo people, but the music is set by Greg Smith. It's a beautiful tune, but a tricky one. I hope that you'll repeat after me. Now I walk in beauty.
Now I walk in beauty.
Beauty is before me.
Beauty is before me.
Beauty is behind me.
Beauty is behind me.
Above and below me.
Above and below me.
Above and below me.
Above and below me.
You're all invited to the choir. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. The whole thing from the beginning. Ready? And now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind me, above and below me. Now I walk in beauty. Beauty is before me. Beauty is behind
once again, Ira Glass nails it. Camp is this unusually safe bubble where kids can let themselves go, crying and screaming and singing. They all buy into this. None of them stands back. Nobody thinks they're too cool for it. Back at school, the rules are completely different. Everywhere, the rules are completely different. My first summer at Camp Mishra-Marzetti, I was in for some big surprises. Those traditions that I was talking about, well, you don't know what you don't know and what you haven't experienced before. So I came to learn that one night per session, and you never knew when it would be, the counselors would sneak into one cabin at midnight and wake up all the campers. I remember a flashlight shining in my face, and when I opened my eyes, the counselor standing above me told me that I wasn't allowed to talk and to quickly change into a swimsuit and grab a towel. They led us in the dark, stumbling and sleeping-eyed, a group of about 10 8-year-olds, down to the lake and out onto the dock. It was really chilly, and I'm pretty sure they deliberately picked the coldest night of the summer. In northern Minnesota, in early summer, the lake is still really cold. Once we were all huddled together, shivering and full of anticipation over what was about to happen, the counselors told us with very solemn voices that we were about to experience one of the best nights of our lives. That generations of campers had participated in the midnight jump into Lake Pokegama. That this rite of passage would bind us together forever. And then they instructed us to face the water, move to the edge of the dock, hold hands so that nobody could back out, and on the count of 3, jump together. My heart was beating so fast, and my freezing cold hands were somehow also really clammy. And as I clasped onto my bunkmate's hands, closed my eyes, they counted down, and we jumped. The shock of that water was so intense, and I will never forget the sound of that huge collective splash, and the gasps, and the shrieks, as we all rushed back up to the surface, interrupting the deep stillness of the night. And then it was just giggles and splashing and cheers. Once the counselors gave us the green light, we all scrambled back onto the dock, wrapped up in our towels, and then we got to spend 10 luxurious minutes in the sauna. That sauna smell. It's that almost unpleasant way that it gets into your nostrils, you know? You just don't forget it. And then we gathered around a roaring campfire, and we roasted marshmallows, and we sang our hearts out. At about 2 a.m., we finally made it back to our cabin and collapsed into our bunks, sticky and sandy and messy-haired and elated. I was bursting with pride in myself and my cabin mates that we had done this thing, this ritual that bound us to one another and to the past and to the future. It felt so special. Before exhaustion took us, we fell into another fit of breathless giggles, like we had this amazing secret. We were deliriously giddy with collective joy. I don't know how else to describe it. Have you ever felt that way? It's a feeling that I actually get a lot here in this room with all of you. Camp and church really do have a lot in common.
I find camp letters particularly special. I still have ones my best friend wrote to me during the summers I spent at Interlaken, and that was 50 years ago. I still have the ones my kids wrote to me from their summer camps. These letters helped maintain relationships, those we had with family and friends we left behind in our other lives. I also maintained relationships with my new camp friends by sending them letters after camp was over. To this day, one of my very closest friends is someone I met at camp. Now, this was in the days before texting and email, but no matter how kids connect, on paper or electronically, the result is the bonds formed at summer camp are deep. Camp, like belonging to a congregation, is a place where we form relationships. We form new relationships, ones that with intention and some effort can grow into lifetime connections. So will you join me now in our very own camp quiet time? A time of being still without talking, a time when activities pause so we can rest on our bunk bed, in our sleeping bags, read, maybe write letters, draw, take a nap. I'm going to read you a poem I wrote about a camp experience I had a long time ago. At the time, I probably didn't think about the mystery and the beauty of the natural world I was surrounded by as something holy, but it certainly was. So if you want to, you may lie down and imagine it is dark, and imagine you are watching for meteors in the sky while I read this poem. If you don't want to lie down, settle into any position that is comfortable for you. Maybe your eyes are open or shut, and we'll hold a few minutes of silence after the poem. The Perseids. If I could return to my 15-year-old body for but one moment, it would be to lie again on the beach in northern Michigan, patiently awaiting a meteor to streak across the night sky in mid-August. I kept close the letters you wrote in tiny hand on thin paper, kept them with me as I watched that night sky, longing for you, knowing I would return to my cabin and begin a letter, hoping I could convey to you the wonder of the falling stars and the calm that surrounded me as I lay on the beach in northern Michigan.
I invite you to remain seated as you open in the teal hymnal to number 1012, When I Am Frightened, number 1012. When I am frightened, will you reassure me? When I'm uncertain, will you hold my hand? Will you be strong for me? Sing to me quietly. Will you share some of your stories with me? If you will show me compassion, then I may learn to care as you do. Then I may learn to care. When I am angry, when I am angry, will you still embrace me? When I am thoughtless, will you understand? Will you believe when I am troubled. When I am troubled, will you listen to me? When I am lonely, will you be my friend? Will you be there for me? Comfort me tenderly. Will you share some of your feelings with me? If you will show me commitment, then I may learn to love as you do. Then I may learn to love.
Dear UUAA, guess what? I finally moved up to third chair in the orchestra. It is so hard because everyone here is so good. A bunch of my friends come from places where they play really hard music in their high school orchestras. It's so different from what we've played at home. But the best thing is everybody just loves playing music. The rehearsals don't even feel that long. I never thought I'd say this, but practicing isn't even that bad either. I mean, sometimes there are spiders in the practice rooms, but you can't get around that. Some people just practice outside in the woods. That feels a bit too exposed to me. This week, our conductor is really good and funny, and we get to play Brahms. I wish you could come to hear that concert. My lessons are going pretty well. My teacher is having me work on some super challenging music, and she's helping me learn how to memorize stuff. That's something I'm not very good at, but I feel like I'm making progress. And when I learned that it wasn't just me who had a hard time with that, it felt so much better. We have a small group that meets to work on it together. See you in just a few weeks for the final concert. It will be quite a spectacle. Let me know when you think you might get here. I'll probably have a bunch of laundry to bring home. It will be good to eventually be back in my own comfortable bed. But if I could just stay here all year, I would. Love, T.
All right, it's time for another cheer. I'd like to invite my kids and then any other kids that might want to join us up here on the steps. We're going to walk through this little cheer. The kids are going to sing it and do the hand gestures. So we're going to teach it to you. It's pretty easy and fun and very silly. So please just give it all of your energy and fun and enthusiasm to make everybody here laugh and have fun. All right, so.
Is everyone ready to go bananas?
Yes.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Banana. Take, banana. Take, banana. Take, banana. Then you peel, banana. Peel, banana. Then you peel, banana. Peel, banana. Then you eat, banana. Eat, banana. Then you eat, banana. Eat, banana. Then you puke, banana. Puke, banana. Then you puke, banana. Puke, banana. Then you clean, banana. Clean, banana. Then you clean, banana. Clean, banana. Then you go, bananas. Go, bananas. Then you go, bananas. Go, bananas. All right, does everybody got it? All right.
Yes.
So we're going to do it 2 times through. I invite everybody who can to rise in body or spirit as you may, if you'd like. It's very fun. All right, you ready?
All together now.
1, 2, 3. First you take bananas, take bananas, and you take bananas, take bananas, and you peel bananas, peel bananas, and you peel bananas, peel bananas, and you eat bananas, eat bananas, and you eat bananas, eat bananas, and you puke bananas, puke bananas, and you puke bananas, puke bananas, and you clean bananas, clean bananas, and you clean bananas, clean bananas, and you go bananas, go bananas, and you go bananas, go bananas. I think maybe we've done it enough, actually.
I think that's good.
I think we're going to skip the last one. I think we're all a little tired. Yeah, I think we got to skip the last one. I'm sorry, we got to skip it. Thank you, everybody. I know, I'm so sorry we had to skip the last one. Unlike some kids who stay at the same summer camp for their entire childhood, I wandered from camp to camp, trying to figure myself out, trying to find the right fit. I'd always enjoyed acting and dancing. So while I was in high school, I spent 3 summers at Stage Door Manor Performing Arts Center in a little town in New York called Loch Sheldrake. It's actually a pretty well-known theater camp. It's housed at an old Catskills mountain resort that was built back in the 1950s for city dwellers to escape polio during the hot summers. Think shag carpets, wood-paneled walls, and burnt orange furniture everywhere. Stage Door was a very different environment than Mishawaka or any of the other camps I'd attended. Instead of cabins in the woods, there were floors of dorm-like rooms with communal bathrooms. Instead of archery and canoeing and horseback riding, we took classes on stage combat and musical theater and film acting. Instead of color days and campfires, days were filled with rehearsals for the end of the session slate of shows, informal improv games, and heated debates over which Sondheim musical is the best one. The answer is Into the Woods. It was a competitive environment with a rigorous audition process that had kids and teens vying for the most coveted roles. I figured I'd get cast in some minor role, take a few acting classes, and call it good. Nothing serious, nothing too high stakes. And I was right initially. My first role in the first session was pretty small and forgettable. I know the old saying, there are no small roles, only small actors. But there are, in fact, small roles and small actors. And then, during the second session, I was cast as the estranged mother in a stage adaptation of Flowers for Algernon. It's the villain role. And ooh, it was juicy and challenging and so different from any acting role I'd ever had before. I remember dark, shadowy rehearsals in the Carousel Theater, one of the black box spaces that provided, according to Stage Door Manor's own website, intense, dramatic atmosphere. I remember working closely with my director to create a fleshed-out character with an interior life and an origin story. I remember putting on the shabby house dress and using stage makeup to create a horror movie look, complete with dark circles and age lines. I remember the flutters in my chest as my castmates and I peeked through the curtains to see the seats filling up on opening night. I remember the cheers and the applause and the rush of campers running up to me, gushing that my performance was awesome. I mean, these were the kids that I looked up to at camp. I remember feeling like I belonged, like truly belonged, like I'd found myself. Suddenly, I wasn't just a kid who liked theater. I was a theater kid. And I was in a place filled with other theater kids, of only theater kids. Theater kids that weren't marginalized or made to feel like outsiders or weirdos. Theater kids that could celebrate and embrace their truest selves. I was never the same after that. I felt grounded and confident and seen after a lot of restless, lonely years. That is the power of community and belonging. But this isn't a simple, happily ever after story, because this is real life and not a stage play. Camp would eventually end, for the summer, and then a few years later, for me, forever. There would be many more restless, lonely years ahead. I discovered that that sense of belonging, of being embraced, can be fleeting if you don't nurture it. Much like a campfire, where if you don't add more wood, the once bright flickering flames will dwindle into smoldering ash. You have to stoke the fire. You have to give it air. You have to feed it more sticks and logs for that fire to flourish. There is a fire burning inside all of us, a scorchingly perfect true self. And our community, this community, overflowing with love and compassion, will gladly, warmly feed your flame. May it always be so.
Will you rise in body or spirit and join us in singing Where You Go? Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine.
If you would remain standing as we prepare to roll up the sleeping bags, pack our duffel bags, say farewell to new friends, we extinguish our campfire. Stella, will you help with this? Day is done, gone the sun. From the hills, from the lake, from the skies, all is well. Safely rest. God is nigh. Beloveds, all is well. All will be well. May you safely rest in the love that is always near. May that which is holy to you be always present in the days and weeks ahead. May you be surrounded by the beauty of nature, of music, of friendship. Go in peace, dear ones, until we gather again. Good night, and amen.